So, as is quickly becoming tradition with these jam games, I have decided to film a little unscripted devlog about the jam game I've been doing in the past few days here. So, that specific jam is going to be the Wowie Jam 4.0, hosted by the great Jonas Tyroller. And the theme is collaborate with AI, so I decided to make an AI dating simulator. And you just date a randomly generated robot, and sometimes their text will glitch out and give you a little Markov chain of their different options of speaking that may or may not result in something that makes sense. So the first thing I did for this jam was come up with the general idea for the game. Now, of course, this idea specifically is a result of some revision. My first idea was actually something about like a turtle platform. Basically, you were in a platformer, but there was a large turtle with a very long, flat back. And you had these rectangles with words on them, and you would throw them onto the turtle, and those would cause the turtle to move in different directions. This is a pretty interesting idea, but I've done a whole lot of platformers in the past, and this one didn't seem particularly interesting. And also, despite the fact that most of my games at this point are puzzle games, I don't really like creating levels for puzzle games. It's just not that enjoyable to me personally. So I decided to go a different route. I actually wrote down all the genres of my previous jam games and wrote down the genres I haven't created yet, because I feel like I normally like to have different genres in my jam games. And the few that stood out were things like tower defense, FPS, and of course dating simulator, or just a visual novel in general. So I decided to go with that last one as the idea I would go with. So from there I'd have to choose the specific idea, and I decided to go with this sort of dating simulator inside a coffee shop type thing with a robot. And it's not the greatest idea I've ever had for a game jam, mostly because there's not really a firm game loop. There's no challenge. But I'm thinking what I'll do is I'll add a report bug button at the top right, kind of a fake button. And if you press that button, then the AI will start to sort of try to negotiate with you to try to keep the date going. And if the date doesn't go well, then the AI ends up getting scrapped. That's sort of the bad ending. So it's still not really a clearly defined goal, but it's more of just a fun thing to toy around with. I don't know, I think it might be pretty fun. And it's just something different than a lot of the previous games I've been doing, which do have clearly defined ends. So the first thing I did after coming up with the idea was to create the dialogue system. You can see right here we've got a little note card type thing. I don't really know what that is. Right now it says, "Welcome to Valentine's Day," which is the name of the game. It's like Valentine's Day, but it's an AI instead of Al. So you can see this is just a normal Unity Text Mesh Pro AI or UI text block. And I've created a dialogue system here, which I can show the script. It's actually based off a Markov chain. Now, what a Markov chain is say you have a few words. We'll just go with the script right here, the using systems.collections, using system.collections.generic, using system.link, and using Unity engine. So we start with one of the words here. Let's say we start with using. Now we go through our entire text string and look for what words follow using. So we've got system, 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 and Unity engine. So in this case, I'm creating a weighted Markov engine or weighted Markov chain so that the more a word appears after a certain word, the more likely it is to be chosen. So if we were trying to generate text using this, if we started with using, there's a 3/4 chance that the next word would be system, and a 3/4 or a 1/4 chance that the next one will be Unity Engine. So most likely say using system, and from there the words following systems are connect or collections, and link. So there'd be a 2/3 chance that the next word is collections, and a 1/3 chance that it will be link. And we would keep going on, finding the next words following these, and eventually we get to a semicolon and something that would end the text. So that's just a system I've done, and in this case, I've chosen, or I've manually written down a bunch of responses here based on different levels of confidence. I've actually created a system called a confidence matrix, where it sounds pretty fancy, but basically just I've got 9 different responses, 3 for the AI having low confidence in itself, 3 for the AI having medium confidence in itself, and 3 for the AI having high self-confidence. And then each of those has 1 for the AI having low confidence in the player, like that the date's going to go well, and then medium confidence and high confidence. So for example, if the AI has low self-confidence but high confidence in the player, if you ask it, what's up, it'll say, who cares how I feel? I want to hear about you. So there's just general things like that, and that's the whole confidence matrix system. So that's how the AI works and talks to you. But of course, since it is this sort of Markov chain, some of the responses that are using that system are going to be a little bit wonky, but I think that's kind of part of the fun, is finding those wonky responses and then trying to figure out what they could mean, even though it's just a computer saying random computer things. So after the dialogue system, I started creating the actual script for how the date itself goes, and luckily my system here is pretty extensive for dialogue, so I was able to work something out where I can just basically type in each individual line with a little bit of extra stuff, and I would be able to generate a pretty confident conversation. I do want this game to be pretty replayable. I want that to be part of the fun, where you're dating a different person each time you play the game, or a different AI. So I'm trying to add some random elements, or some elements where the player actually has some input into what's going on. So let's see, we'll start out here. We've got the basic things for AI chooses its hat and its clothes. I guess it's starting self-confidence and starting player confidence. Creates a name. It has a favorite food. So we start the conversation here, introduction. It says, my name is blah blah blah, what's yours? And you enter your name. And it says that's a nice name. And I might customize that based on the confidence levels. Here you order your food. It says, looks like the waiter's here, let's order our food. And here I've said if it has a self-confidence of 2, which is the maximum, it'll order for the both of you without asking. And it'll say, I ordered for you, hope you don't mind. Thought that was pretty funny. And then finally, with advanced text.setText here, we get some input from the player, and you can choose whether to talk about weather or hobbies or ask it what's up, as I showed earlier. And you can have that first conversation. And then your food would arrive. That's all I've implemented so far in the script. But what I want to do now here is talk about how I created the robot itself and then this background art here while we play around. So just getting ready to start our own date with the AI here, and let's see who we get. Looks like we've got Kenberg. He says, oh, hey, I guess, my name is Kenberg. And we can see, well, behind this note card right here, if we look, he's wearing what appears to be some sort of t-shirt, and then you'll notice he doesn't have a hat on, which they can have a hat on. So I drew some basic clothes here in GIMP, and it just randomly chooses one for each of the robots, which I still have to draw a few more of those because I only have like 3 shirts and 1 hat. So anyway, back to the game here. If we re-enable this note card, he says, oh, hey, I guess, my name is Kenberg. So I believe this response in particular is low self-confidence and either low or medium player confidence. I don't remember which one. So let's continue the conversation. No, oh, it's disabled the no card again. All right. Kenberg says, what's yours? So what's your name? We enter our name. I'll go with Mondobi. Mondobi, that's a nice name. Anyway, it looks like the waiter's here, so let's order our food. Kenberg says, I'll have the apple cider. How about you? And then this is where we presumably order our food. He says, ooh, that sounds good. And Kenberg says, so while we wait, what would you like to talk about? And this is where you can choose your topic of conversation. And let's go with just asking him what's up. Kenberg says, I feel? I haven't know what it is, but it's just been feeling. I haven't been off for some reason. My vibes have just not been great at all, right? How are you feeling? Great. And you can see this is actually a pretty long response for the AI here. And you can see it's kind of nonsensical. This is a very short Markov chain, so it doesn't look back for more than maybe one or two previous words. So some of the grammar is going to be not making sense at all. But you can see he says, oh, I feel? I haven't know what it is, so that's not exactly proper grammar. And this is all I've implemented of the script. So you can see it's a very bare bones sort of dating simulator. There's not much to do right now. But hopefully in the future, you'll be able to actually have some quote-unquote competent and long conversations with the AI. But anyway, that's the devlog of VAI and Times Day so far. Hopefully I'll be able to get another one out, but it's not like NFT Wars where I have a whole week to do this game jam. I believe the last day I'll have to work on it is Monday, which I will have some things I'm doing that day, so I won't have too much time to work on it, but we'll see. And until then, I'm going to go ahead and edit this video, and you have a good day. And no, that was not your Discord ping, that was mine. Goodbye.